And ready to break this game down now. We're very pleased to be joined by the head coach of the Nittany Lions, James Franklin, who is in our studio in State College. Coach, we'll look ahead to the game in a moment, but first, just interested in what pleased you the most with your team in week one.
Robert, Dave, how are you guys? Thanks for having us on. Week one was really good. We were able to get out there, get our feet wet. Like you guys just got done talking about, no preseason in college football. So I was pleased with some things. There's things that we definitely have to get cleaned up. Whenever you start a new quarterback, and he was able to go out and throw for over 200 yards, throw no interceptions, that was positive. We were able to get Saquon Barkley involved early. Defensively, when you lose 3 starters to the NFL on the defensive line, and then last year we led the nation in sacks, and to start this season with 7 sacks and second in the nation in sacks after week one. So that's positive. Obviously getting the interception, return for a touchdown was big. We had 3 turnovers in the game on the defensive side of the ball. And then probably the area I'm most excited about is special teams. And Blake Gillikin, a true freshman punter, came out and punted really well as Joe Julius and Tyler Davis. Both of those guys did great. So excited about all 3 phases.
Oh, well, let's get into the special teams very quickly, because to me the most memorable play may have been Joey Julius's big tackle. Any spot for him in your defensive rotation, Coach?
No, but I told our defensive coaches they can't cheat and put him on the big hits of the week tape that we show our guys. We talk about playing with all 11 guys on offense, defense, and special teams. So many times you see kickers and punters wait back and play safety in open space. I don't believe they have any chance to make a tackle in open space. They need to get down there and fit the run, no different than any other position. And Joe was able to do that, which was awesome. It erupted our sideline. It erupted the stadium. So happy for him and for us.
It erupted our green room as well, just in case you're wondering. Trace McSorley, you mentioned, was a real positive as you were listing through all the things that went well for you. Give me a little bit more thoughts on what you thought he did the best and what maybe you want him to work on here heading into Pitt.
Well, I thought he was very poised. He managed the game very well. We didn't have any operational issues, no delay of games, no incorrect calls. He just managed the game very well. He's in a situation, too, where he's going to be forced to throw the ball vertically down the field. And in the horizontal game, with crossing routes and things like that, because people are going to overload the box against us to stop Saquon Barkley and force him to beat us in the vertical throwing game. So we took some shots down the field. We got to hit a few more of those. But overall, I thought he did some nice things.
There's been a lot of discussion about your change in offense and about going up tempo here with Joe Moorhead. Was this about where you wanted it to be tempo-wise?
Well, I think you'd always like to be a little bit cleaner. We were not real fast with our tempo this past Saturday because, first game of the season, you don't completely know what you're going to get. And I would say that they probably played about 75% different than what we had seen on tape. So, we did a lot of check with me stuff, to make sure we were running the right play and had the best chance to be effective.
What's your biggest concern coming out of week one, James? We've mentioned a lot of positives. What's the thing that you feel like you need to clean up here going forward?
Well, I think it's the playmaking. We left way too many yards and way too many points on the field. Easily could have scored 21 more points in that game, so we got to do a better job of that. Can't kick field goals when you get in the red zone. You got to score touchdowns. Defensively, it was either a sack or it was a quarterback scramble for a big play. So it was, we just need to be more consistent there. Sacks, or it's one thing to allow the quarterback to scramble for 2 or 3 yards. It's another thing to let him scramble for 10 or 12. So we're going to do a better job there. That's where a chunk of our yards that we gave up on defense was from. So that's going to be important for us moving forward.
Speaking of moving forward, let's take a look at this Pitt team. And you have talked, starting with your introductory news conference, about dominating the state in recruiting. How important is winning this matchup against Pitt to achieving that end?
Well, I think winning games is always important. And obviously there's an emphasis when you're playing an in-state school that's got long tradition and history, and we haven't played in a while. I mean, the last time we played each other, Pitt won the game. One of the interesting stats I looked at is you look at the 96 times that we've played, a majority of those games have been on Pitt's campus, which is interesting just from a historical perspective. So, yeah, it's an exciting game. High school coaches, players, fans, media have been talking about this game all off season. So it should be a great environment. We're looking forward to it.
I know you have a lot of respect for James Conner as a person. I heard you talking about that at Big Ten Media Days here in Chicago in July. What are the challenges that he presents, though, as a player?
Well, I mean, it's a great story for college football. I think it talks about the type of program they have. I think it talks about James Conner and the type of person he is to not only overcome a knee injury, but also overcome cancer and then start week one. So impressive young man. I was fortunate to get him on the phone, after this came out last year and just told him that we're all here supporting him in Happy Valley. So, he's a big, strong, explosive back. You're talking about 225, 230-pound back that has speed, has some wiggle, can run for power. So he's a difficult task to stop, especially behind a big physical offensive line like they have.
James Franklin, head coach of the Nittany Lions. Coach, I know it's a busy day for you. Really appreciate you fitting us in here on Big Ten and Beyond. Thanks a lot.
You too. Thanks, guys.